In a small cottage in the Scottish countryside, Margaret Heughan, Sam's mother, sat in her usual rocking chair, knitting her eyes, scanning a recent magazine interview. She shook her head, clicking her tongue. Here we go again. My son Sam is called the perfect man. What's perfect about him? Who knew he left all the dishes in the sink and disappeared to go hiking? Or that he used up all the milk in the fridge without bothering to buy more? Her niece laughed and asked, "But Uncle Sam is famous. Everyone loves him." Margaret glared at him, but then giggled. Famous, yes, but he's the same kid who skipped school because he didn't want to wear a shirt that his mother had ironed. Every time he comes home, he'll rummage through the fridge for pudding and then leave a pile of things there that he won't clean up. But then, her eyes softened. She looked out the window, where a red-haired boy had once run around in the afternoon sun. No matter what, he's still my little boy. No matter how famous he is, no matter how much he plays a prince or a warrior. To me, he's still the little boy who hugged a teddy bear to sleep and screamed when he saw a spider. She laughed, then said softly, "I just hope he eats enough, sleeps enough, and doesn't let fans send me any more pajamas with his face printed on them. I'm afraid the neighbors will see and think I'm a crazy fan." That winter, Sam Heughan decided to visit his mother for the new year. The newspapers reported that Sam is going back to his hometown for a vacation, while Margaret muttered, "What vacation?" He came here mainly to eat all his mother's shortbread and hide from relatives who asked when he would get married. On the morning of the second day of Tet, the whole village was in an uproar. People rushed to the windows. Some even pretended to walk their dogs 3 times past Chrissy Heughan's house just to see if that's Jamie in real life. Chrissy Heughan stood in the kitchen stirring a pot of traditional porridge and complained, "Sam can't walk to the store to buy eggs without 5 people asking for a selfie. I told him next time he'll wear a fake beard." When the family was having lunch, Sam suddenly stood up, raised his glass of whiskey, and said in a thick, masculine voice, "To family, to Scotland, to the warmth of home." The whole family was moved. Mrs. Chrissy Heughan sighed. "Son, I just asked you to pour me a pitcher of water. Do you need to act like you're reading a line in a movie?" Bonus call with Caitriona. That afternoon, Sam called Caitriona Balfe on FaceTime. When the screen turned on, Mrs. Margaret suddenly entered the frame. "Oh, hi, Caitriona. Remember to remind Sam to wear slippers. He keeps walking around barefoot. It's so cold. He'll catch a cold." Caitriona giggled. "Yes, I will. But I think the whole world thinks his slippers are sexy." Mrs. Margaret's eyes widened. "Oh my God, what's sexy?" "It's the sheep slippers I bought at the supermarket." That week, the whole town was buzzing. Word spread that Sam Heughan is bringing his girlfriend to the village. Mrs. Chrissy heard the news from her neighbor. "I haven't even heard from him. How did the people at the bakery know before me?" That afternoon, Sam showed up hand in hand with a beautiful girl, actress, environmental activist, and who didn't drink coffee. Mrs. Margaret poured tea for her guests, trying to be polite. But when Sam poured her coffee, his girlfriend said softly, "Oh, I actually don't drink coffee. Too much caffeine." Mrs. Margaret paused. The world seemed to be silent. The silver spoon in her hand shook slightly. "Huh? No coffee. It's against the law in Scotland not to drink coffee." Sam quickly added, "Mum, she prefers herbal tea. You know, wellness." She nodded, smiling. but her eyes were like X-rays. Well, being healthy is good. But don't try to make my son give up coffee because every morning he drinks 3 cups to wake up. Introduction. Meal. Haggis baptism. At dinner, Mrs. Margaret decided to test her bridehood according to the traditional ritual, feeding her haggis, a famous lamb's heart dish that even the locals are afraid of. The girlfriend tried to smile, mustering up the courage to take a small bite. She nodded weakly. Interesting texture. Mrs. Margaret smiled coolly. Yeah, outsiders often call it unique. Sam was miserable, quickly covering up. Mum? She said it tastes like history. Mrs. Margaret laughed for the first time. Yes, the smell of epic. And a little bitterness of a mother's heart. Epilogue. The unspoken covenant. Between 2 women. After dinner, the 2 women drank tea in the kitchen. Margaret gave the girl Sam's old sweater. He used to be afraid of the cold, so he kept asking his mother to knit him a longer collar. Now that he's grown up, someone must be covering him with a blanket, right? The girl smiled. I can't replace you, but I promise to love his stubbornness and his clumsiness. Margaret nodded silent, then chuckled. As long as you don't make him eat salad all day. When Caitriona Balfe visited the Heughan household during the break from filming Outlander, Sam was quick to warn her, "Don't do anything weird, Mom. She's a guest." Mrs. Margaret just sipped her tea and said calmly, "A guest. She's Claire Fraser, my wife, for several seasons. You have the right to check her." The fateful encounter. And it all look. As soon as Caitriona stepped into the kitchen, she had just taken off her scarf when Mrs. Margaret gave her a full-body scanner, like scrutiny. "Are you eating enough? Look at your shoulders. You're so skinny from the horse riding scene, Jamie can't carry them." Caitriona laughed. "Yes, I eat enough. It's just that Sam often grabs food on set." Mrs. Margaret turned to her son. "I told you not to grab food from your co-stars. It's a habit you've had since you were little." The retaliation plan. A holy plan is born. At that moment, Caitriona and Margaret glanced at each other, their eyes in unison, as if 2 MI6 agents had just hatched a sweet assassination plan. "Tonight, let's play Sam's childhood memories. Do you hear?" Caitriona clapped her hands. "I'm ready." The other day, he accidentally said that he cried because he was chased by a bee when he was 12. Margaret laughed wickedly. "Crying is light. He even rolled around in the yard, making the neighbors think he was possessed." The funniest. Dinner of the year. During dinner, every time Sam tried to tell an interesting story on the set, Caitriona would interrupt. Like the time he fell because he slipped on a strawberry jam pie. Margaret added fuel to the fire. Or when he wore a kilt backwards outside thinking it was a new fashion. Sam shouted, "Since when did you 2 form an alliance?" Margaret and Caitriona raised their glasses, smiling triumphantly. "Since you just finished filming the first episode, honey. True friendship and a very salty mom." Before Caitriona returned to the set, Margaret hugged her tightly. "Next time you come by, stay longer." I have a few more pictures of Sam in her Halloween costume when she was 10. You can use them as blackmail. Caitriona laughed heartily. "I promise I'll print them out and stick them all over the filming trailer." Sam from afar shouted, "Mommy." It all started when she just wanted to drop by for a visit. That day, Sam only invited his mother to the Outlander set for a day. He carefully instructed his assistant, "Let her come over for a little tour, don't let her touch anything, ask anything, or apply for a role." Too late. As soon as she arrived, she made a tour of the backstage like the president of the corporation, directing like a producer. Claire's dress is a bit wrinkled. Iron it. Jamie's hat is a bit crooked, fix it. This camera is backlit. The disaster officially began when the director accidentally invited her into the frame. The director saw her wearing a traditional Scottish dress, her hair tied up her face, serious, and joked, "Do you want to play the grumpy neighbor?" Mrs. Margaret nodded too quickly. "Okay, but remember to give me clear lines. Jamie's mother is not a quiet person." And so, the most memorable scene of that season was filmed. In the scene where Jamie and Claire go to the village market, Mrs. Margaret appears at the vegetable stall, pats Jamie on the shoulder and says, "Son, you're going to lose face in this unironed skirt." Sam was stunned and missed the original line. The whole crew couldn't breathe from laughter. The director banged on the table. "Cut great. Leave this scene as it is. It's so natural." After filming, she was called Mrs. Margaret the Scene Stealer by the crew. The assistant director immediately printed a t-shirt with the line, "Team Chrissy Heughan, Jamie's mom is the final boss of Outlander." Sam just sat in the trailer, sighing, holding a cup of tea, muttering, "I filmed 8 seasons. Mom filmed 8 minutes and got her own fan club. Fans sent letters asking her to come back, but she set extremely strict conditions. I will continue filming if I get to write the script. Jamie has to learn to sew. Claire does gardening, and I open a class to teach aristocratic behavior during wartime." It all started with a homemade dress. Sam sent his mother an invitation to the biggest premiere of Outlander in London this year. He texted, "Just wear something simple, polite, and stand next to me." But by simple, Margaret meant the pinnacle of royal fashion combined with Scottish ethnography. She appeared on the red carpet in a 5-tiered tartan dress decorated with faux fox fur, holding a fan with the name Mother of the Year. The reporter was about to ask Sam a few questions when Margaret interrupted. "The first question should be for me. I'm the one who trained Jamie Fraser since 3 years old." The photographer shouted, "She stole the spotlight." Sam stood posing seriously on the backdrop while on the other side, Margaret was waving her fan like a countess posing professionally, as if she was on the cover of Vogue magazine. A Hollywood actress name withheld quietly turned away, whispering, "I thought I was the spotlight today." But his mother was the fireworks. The event became exciting when Mrs. Margaret sneaked homemade juice into the hall. Sam sniffed it and frowned. Mom brought in beetroot juice with garlic and chili. "This is a premiere, not a family party," she calmly said. "Just drink it. Keep your voice. Who can stand it if you get hoarse and scream, 'Claire' tomorrow?" The media interview turned into a personal talk show. The reporter asked Sam, "What are you most proud of in your career?" Before Sam could answer, Mrs. Margaret waved her hand to grab the mic. "I think it's the fact that he knows how to cook. Even if he only knows how to make oatmeal without salt, that's still an effort." The audience went crazy for his mother. The next day, Outlander fan pages were flooded with comments. "Let Margaret cameo." Again, She can be the queen of the Highlands. I only watched the red carpet because of Sam's mother. Where's Netflix sign? Jamie Fraser's mother. Sam looked at his phone and said quietly, Mom, please. Let me be the main celebrity in the house. For a day, Heughan rose from her tartan-draped armchair, hands on hips, like a Scottish queen about to give orders to her warrior. No to her son, the famous Sam Heughan. Do you know how many people text me saying, Auntie Margaret Sam is the perfect gentleman? They don't live with me. They haven't seen me leave the kettle on the stove 3 times in one morning. Sam sat there quietly, munching on her shortbread, like a child whose mother had exposed her in the market. Mum, I've been filming all day. I can't remember, Sam said, trying to defend herself weakly. Heughan snorted. Busy Jamie Fraser can hold a sword, ride a horse, save lives. If I let the kettle burn again, the neighbors will think you've opened a furnace. After a while of blaming her son, she lowered her voice and quietly took an old photo album from behind the chair. Anyway, I'm still very proud of you, she said, her voice dropping. Just don't forget, I was your first fan and the first person to say, cut your hair. You look like a Highland cow. Sam laughed and hugged his mother tightly. You're the best supporting actress I've ever seen, he whispered. Margaret grinned. And don't forget, the only one who can be the Outlander star who washes the dishes when she comes home.